In part 2, we are going to carry on by adding more controls to the form. Next, we are going to add another control called a flow layout panel. A flow layout panel basically is a container that arranges other controls in a neat row, arranges them properly in neat rows in an orderly way. So to add it, we're going to add it to the table layout panel. So click on the bottom here, make sure the table layout panel is showing in the properties. Then go to your toolbox. Then let's go to containers. And this is what we want to add, flow layout panel. So double click on it and it's added it there. So that's it. That's the flow layout panel. So what we're going to do, I want to dock this flow layout panel in its parent container. So to do that, click on this little triangle here and click dock in parent container, and that should just fill that. All right, we are going to add 4 buttons to this flow layout panel. So make sure you've got it selected and make sure it says flow layout panel in the properties. So let's add the buttons and just go to common controls and double click and it should be a button. We're going to have 4 buttons, so to make it easier, I'm just going to copy this 3 times. That'll be button 2, button 3, and paste again button 4. So we now have 4 buttons. So I'm just going to change the name on these buttons. So let's change the name by clicking on the button. So button 1, I'm going to come here to the text button and change it to, this would be the close button. I'll go to button 2. Button 2 will be, we'll use button 2 to set the background color. We'll say set background color. That'll be button 2. Button 3, we'll use that to clear the picture. Say clear picture. And the last button, we'll use that to display the picture. So I'll type in show picture. Notice some of the text are not showing at the moment because of their length. So I'm going to automatically resize them. So click on the first button. While you've got the first button selected, you can hold down the shift key and select the others. So that'll be 2. So while you've got all of them selected, go to the property page and there is a property called auto size. So we're going to use that to automatically resize the buttons to their right size, and that way it will show the text contained in the button. All right, so I'm just looking for that option. There should be a property called auto size. All right, so that's a property I'm looking for called auto size. So I'm just going to change the value from false to true. As you can see, it's automatically resized the buttons. You can see all the text are now showing in the buttons. Another thing I want to do is actually change the name on the button itself. So I'll select the first one. The name is currently button 1. So I'm going to call it close button. This is important so that when you are writing your code, you can identify the control you are writing the code for. So this will be called close button. I'm going to do the same with the others. So I've renamed on my button. So if this is a close button, so if you look in the properties page here, they've all changed the name. This is now called background button. This is now called clear button. This is now called show button. We are going to add 2 more controls before we wrap up this lecture. They are going to be dialog components. So we're going to add a dialog component, and we're going to add a color dialog. These will enable the program, the picture viewer program, to open picture files. So if you want to open a file, you need to have a dialog to open it. So by adding the dialog component, it will enable us to open up picture files. We're also going to add a color dialog, which will enable us to add a background color to give us a color palette that we can use to select colors for the background. So we're going to add those 2 dialog components now. So to add the dialog component, select the Windows form itself. So click on the title here, and it should say form 1. Then go to the toolbox, and there should be a component called dialogs. So this is a dialog. The first one we want to do is the open file dialog. Double click on that, and then we'll double click on the color dialog. So if we look, both dialogs have been added. So let's open up the open file dialog. Click on the icon there, and it should show up in the property pane. We're going to change 2 properties. One of them is going to be the filter. The filter, basically, we need to specify the type of files that can be opened using our application. So I've already written it out. So these are the file types. So you got JPEG, and you got BMP and PNG. If I just scroll through, you can see them. Okay, so these are all the files. So this is what I have added to the filter property for the open dialog. Okay, so you can do the same. The next thing I'm going to do is change the title. We're going to set the title for the open file dialog. So let's go ahead and do that. So there should be a section for a title. So I'll just look for that, and I'll set the title. So in the title property, I'm just going to type in. So type in select a picture file. So that's the title. So we've changed 2 properties for the open file dialog. One is the title. We've set the title, and the other is the filter. The filter property specifies the kind of files, the type of files that we can display in the select a picture file dialog. So when you click on that, it will give you a prompt, open dialog to select a picture, and the file types are specified in the filter will be the types that are allowed. So that is it. We've added all our controls to our form, and in the next lecture, we're going to start writing some code. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.